Hello, hello. Good afternoon, beautiful people. Happy Thursday. Today we are talking about balanced masculine feminine energetics and coupledom. I just got the download that I want to go live on this topic and how I bring that element of my work into the couples work. We do this with individuals. I do this with individuals and with couples. But I want to give you some examples, make it tangible so that you can understand how balancing of the energetics plays out in relationship. And so, one thing that, and this came out of, I had an amazing client session with the masculine yesterday. And yeah, just working through different aspects that come up in coupledom, whether it be around navigating conflict, whether it be around initiating intimacy, whether physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, expressing of desires and boundaries. And so my work at a larger mission is really, it's about bridging the gender divide and all divides for that matter by way of that, but through this lens of the masculine and feminine. Because a lot of our roles and behaviors are conditioned. And so the bridging of it is getting us to see resonance with each other, getting both parties to, whether you identify as a man or a woman, gender nonconforming individual, it doesn't matter because we all have masculine and feminine energy. And so it's bridging this aspect of seeing each other and understanding the conditioned ways that each other show up and our needs based on conditioning and learning how to work with that. So, for example, in relationship, feminine beings who have more feminine energy, are usually more focused on the connection, the desire for connection, igniting the connection, communicating around the connection, talking about the intimacy and the direction that the intimacy is going in the relationship, wanting to work through conflict to continue to deepen in the connection and deepen in the growth that the coupledom is experiencing. Now, more folks who lean more in the masculine, they are often more focused on cultivating those elements of freedom in the relationship and independent expression. And so so it's bridging this dance between interdependence as a couple. So how do we communicate as a couple in ways that, how do you communicate as a couple in ways that bridge connection, but also honor each other's sovereignty, each other's independent expression? And a large part of that comes with working and how to create, and this is like a corporate buzzword, so I need another term for this, psychological safety. It's how to create safety for both parties to truly bring their authenticity to the relationship. So, for example, if one party needs more time alone, maybe you're hanging out with partner and you both are in the same space. Maybe you live together and you work together, or you work from home and these hybrid environments. Maybe one person's need for space is greater. And maybe it's the woman. It doesn't really matter how you identify, but it's the energetics. So maybe one person's need for space is greater. And maybe the other person likes to ignite the connection. They like to talk, they like to connect, they share when they're thinking about something. They want to feel your presence if you're in a room with them and it's silent. And maybe one person really enjoys the silence. They enjoy being in each other's presence in silence and having these little moments throughout the day of connection. And so the more that we are embodied in the balance of the energetics, you can liken, and I speak to these terms because this is how these terms will eventually, they may go away given our world. Yeah, but it's when you're balanced, you understand, both parties feel that inner need for their own space, their own individuality. And so when we both feel it and have that within and cultivate and nurture those parts within that allow us to express our own freedom, express our own independence, go and explore, and then come back to coupledom, We also understand that need in partner. This is why it's bridging of the masculine and feminine, because then there's less partner doesn't get me, partner doesn't want to be with me, partner doesn't want to spend time with me, they're always trying to do their own thing, they're not here for the connection. We understand them because we understand these sides within us that want to express that, whether they're not fully realized or they are. You get it, and you also know how to work with that. So then it's finding ways to bridge connection on both parties when we cultivate that feminine. So both parties need to also go inwards, the reflection, going in, being in our own space and observing is also a feminine energy. Then we also are able to deepen in the connection. And that could be through, and when we have this, it's complicated. So deepen in the connection. And when we have this healthy balance, we know how to invite in connection from a place that feels good, that's not needy, that's not naggy, that's not, no matter who you are, because any party could be naggy or feel needy, and any party can feel restricted. I work with many feminine beings who feel restricted, or the masculine being who feels like they feel like they're bothering their partner, whether it's with physical intimacy or emotional. And so when you have that healthy masculine, then you can invite in connection, and you can be vulnerable, and you can express, and you can share beautiful things with partner. You can ask them deep questions about life, their opinions on things, get to know them more deeply from a place of empowerment instead of it feeling needy. And it's subtle, it's energetic, because for example, if you want to bridge connection with partner, let's say, and you want to do something that invites in his intimacy. So maybe you plan something sweet for partner, do something sexy or something wild, outrageous, ask them a deep question, share something vulnerable. You risk rejection and abandonment, which we all will feel within relationship, because our partners will not wholeheartedly accept us no matter what. No one can love us as much as we love ourselves. And so you're going to risk rejection at some point in the relationship. And so you need that healthy masculine core to empower you to do something wild in the relationship, to express your heart, to say something vulnerable out of the blue, to lead the direction of the intimacy. This is what I desire. What are your thoughts on that? And this is why that balance is so valuable. Because without that, then it's like, instead of maybe you planning a wild adventure or sexy date or doing something vulnerable, maybe I'm going to plan a beautiful night for us together, or then tell you about it, or plan it and then be confident about it in what I'm doing, and then obviously get your consent in it, instead of, can we do this next Friday? Can you plan this? Are you okay with this? Right? That in lack of confidence that comes in voice when we're not fully empowered in what we're doing, when we're leading, how we are leading. That's why my work is also around leadership with intimacy. People feel it. Your partner feels it. It creates less turn on, less polarity, less excitement. And it's not as inviting for them to want to lean in and to go along with it. And so you need that core to say, I'm either going to do something really beautiful and it's either going to be magnetic, or I'm going to risk it's going to be repulsive. You may not enjoy it. You may not be down for it, but I still have to hold myself through it. And it's knowing that, because we're never going to fully know if our partner is going to be on board unless we ask, unless we do something, unless we make a plan and try to invite them to go along with it in a way that's seductive and that brings them on board, because that's fun. People want to be convinced. We're selling all day. You sell someone to want to have a hard conversation, go on next trip, that next vacation. Now, if I'm trying to get you to do something, but I'm not enticing you to do it, why would you want to do it? You wouldn't. So this is why we need the balance. And I'm also working on how to really make it sound tangible, because these concepts are still up here. And so for me to articulate tangibly, like with little examples of what that looks like, it takes time. That's why I'm doing more lives, so that I can really break down these complex topics, because I need more speaking time than a freaking reel for you to understand. And then it's also another aspect is part of the difference with, or the conditioned difference of the masculine and feminine, is also working with the masculine and teaching them how to also connect with what a more feminine being needs. So it's the nurturing of the emotional landscape, it's the expressing of the vulnerability. And so in my sessions one-on-one or with couples, it's as we dig into dynamics that come up, it's also inviting um, subtly these dynamics that invite the more masculine counterpart to feel comfortable expressing vulnerability, to create that safety so they can connect on the deeper emotional elements, give the more feminine partner with more feminine energy that nourishment of connecting emotionally, getting to feel and witness and see their emotional landscape, getting them to also nurture yours and inquire about yours, in addition to the physical, because both are important. And then it's working with voice, because this is important, that balance of the assertiveness and the openness and the curiosity. And when we don't have that balance, then we also can't play. We can't be light. We get wounded easily. We get triggered. We take things personal. And this is why the balance is so important, because that masculine is that knowing who you are, that empowers you. It's that confidence, the affirming of self, your value in relationship. And your feminine is the ability to flow and to play and to be agile and to receive and to surrender. And the more, and I know this from my own life, because I used to be heavy in the feminine, the people pleasers, sacrificing myself for the sake of the connection, insecure in my communication, not really clear in my communication, not leading the direction of the intimacy or contributing to it, waiting for partner to do it. And then I'd also be in this hyper unhealthy masculine of trying to control, demanding my needs be met, bottling up and exploding on partner, or not being flexible, being so focused, being too direct, not using some subtlety, not using some play. And it's that balance within that then allows us to be more, it's really adjustable and agile in relationship, and being able to have that range to meet the moment with whatever it needs. Does this moment need play? Does this moment need seriousness? Does this moment need vulnerability? Does this tension need lightness? And it's cultivating energetic sensitivity to a moment, to your partner, to your own energy. Yeah. Let me know how this is landing. I would love to hear any comments. For those of you here, for those of you watching the replay, so that it helps keep me on track. Let me know how this content is landing too, as I will be expanding on balance of masculine feminine energetics and more on masculine feminine energetics in life, in partnership. This also translates to business, to all relationships. And I got something special that will be coming down the pike, TBD, on the balance. So if you love the balance, pop me a yin yang. Yes. Thank you for the heart. Let's see the yin yang if you're digging this topic in the replay as well. Yeah. Thank you, beautiful people, for joining me today. This was such a pleasure. So just pop on a riff when I feel the call. And I look forward to seeing you in the ether webs or in person if you're in Chicago soon. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.